Water signs, I hope you're all having a good day. If you hear any banging, people yelling, that kind of thing, it's because there's somebody, well, they're remodeling the apartment next door to me, okay? So that's what you'll be hearing. So I'm going to handle Cancer first, and we'll take care of the other water signs in just a little bit, okay? Let's take a look at what your forecast is going to be for March. Cancer, what kind of forecast are you going to have? What's your March going to be like, Cancer? Around here, we shuffle until Spirit tells me to stop shuffling. Okay. Let's lay out a few. I asked what your general theme is, and I've got here the Knight of Bows. So right here, that's characterized in the fox, and this is an incredibly intelligent, very cute animal, in my personal opinion. I love looking at videos of screaming foxes. It's so freaking adorable. But right here, this is one that's not sheltered in a sanctuary, a pet for somebody or anything like that. This is a wild fox who is extremely intelligent and knows what to do in order to feed themselves. So this can mean that, well, I almost said fire signs, Cancer, you might be kind of surviving in your environment for a little bit. You're still acclimated to it, and you're still suited for it. It's not like he's in the desert or in a tropical area, right? This particular fox is exactly where he should be. But on the other hand, there are some tactics that you're going to need to use in order to get through it this month. And it looks like you are the magician. You are the shaman with this particular deck. This is the Wildwood. And so you have all the tools in front of you, including the experience that you need in order to do well in your environment, okay? There's no reason to panic is something I'm getting. Okay, that's the Queen of Cups right there. So this is about continuing to, not go with the flow, because that's the salmon who is renowned for going upstream to lay eggs, to nurture something. So there is something valuable here. Possibly there's a certain kind of thing that you're nurturing. This could be a personal project of yours. These could be literally kids, right? Those could be literally kids depending on your particular situation. But it looks like you have everything you need to do to survive in your environment to protect and to protect whatever it is really, really precious to you. Your reason for existing. I think it's kind of cool that you've got the Queen of Vessels here. Definitely, if you're going to go into like the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation of this particular deck, you're going to need to tap into your own emotions in order to get through this particular situation, okay? But as a water sign, Cancer, you're in the perfect position to do that. Okay, so that's like the general theme for Cancer, but I want some more details. How can you handle this month as best as you possibly can? Good stuff is headed your way. I do feel like some patience and some conniving are going to be needed. Not conniving, that's probably like a negative term. But definitely some patience and intelligence are going to be needed here, on top of action. That's not just like action doing stuff for the hell of it. That's, putting some thought, putting some planning, and that's like sword energy and earth pentacle energy at the same time. So air and earth energy at the same time, okay? Okay, so let's lay them out from the top. You have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, so this might be something that you are really not willing to put out there just yet. Like you're trying to shield this from possibly even from people that you would consider close to yourself, because you're just not ready to talk about this yet. It's possible that this new project is just so new. It's so, like, it's even new to you. Like, you're just so careful with this. Like, you're hyper protective of this at this point, right? This might be a lynx, a wild cat that's kind of like going a little bit aggressive to protect some babies in its den, for instance. That's the Six of Stones in reverse. And in this particular case, that's about exploitation. In this case, the environment is destroyed because the people around them have used it up to bits, and now they're wondering where their next meal is going to come from. But in this case, it's in reverse. I feel like you're in a really good place. You might be living in harmony with the earth, in fact. That might be part of what makes this particular process of protecting this new project, being really emotionally invested into it, that might be what makes this feel so good, is you are flowing with your own nature. Maybe not literally you're going out and hugging trees and that kind of thing, but you might be nourishing your own nature to the point where you aren't draining yourself of, like, and I might also be speaking to myself personally, okay? But take this with a grain of salt, Cancer. You might be in a really good place where you feel like you're going with the flow of your own nature right here with the Queen of Cups. You're going upstream just as the salmon was made to do. You're going with your nature, and it just feels good right now. Like, stuff isn't on fire. The beehives are in perfectly healthy shape. You've got food to eat. It feels good. That's the Page of Arrows. So once again, you're not ready to talk about this. You're not ready to... So this is about not wanting to, like, move forward too much yet. Like, you're really going to want to, like, take this project slow, be extremely careful and deliberate about laying out every inch of the foundation of this new project that you've got going. Or this new family that you've not got going. It might be kids, like I said earlier, and you're not even ready to talk about this. And I said earlier you're not ready to talk about this, and I can see right now you're not ready to handle this. And that really might be the best thing to do here, is to feel out how satisfied you are in this new project and to not move forward without some really careful... This might be about checking your work twice, 3 times before you move forward, okay? Also, not talking to people about it before you move. It might be that you need to get it to a certain stage before you're ready to roll it out there for people to look at and handle and that kind of thing. We're taking from the bottom. So this is the moon on water. Something is hatching. I don't know if you can see this. I hope it shows up on camera. There is an egg underneath the surface of this particular river. There is something emerging. Note this massive full moon. It's like one of those it's one of those massive fall moons, for instance. So it's definitely meant to give you a sense of fertility. There's something growing here that absolutely deserves to be nourished. So not talking about this, not moving forward is really like not moving forward without a lot of research and a lot of careful deliberation. That's what's going to make you successful here. And if you've been draining your own personal resources in a job, in a family situation that did not suit you, that might have been your story last year, this is going to be a really good time to turn things around and feel like you're bringing stuff back into yourself, like the harvest is growing once again. You don't have stuff to worry about because you're flowing once again with your nature. This is an important card. You are in your power as the Queen of Cups. And doesn't that make sense, Cancer? I almost said Gemini. You might have some Gemini in your chart. So this is about, like, not upright. This would be about you weaving your own life's tapestry, so to speak. But I feel like here that you don't have as much influence here as much influence here as you have had in the past. I feel like the best thing to do, if you're not already doing it, is to let your ancestors, your spirit guides, your deities, the universe guide you from this point. Those are the people who are going to be throwing in the shuttlecock with the threads that weave the tapestry of your life. You need to do it's one of those as above, so below kinds of situations. That makes sense that it would land on the house of the magician. It's not houses, this isn't Lenormand, but this lands together with the magician because you are supposed to be allowing the universe to let things flow. As above, so below. You're doing projects that make the universe happy. You're in your power, and so the universe gets to work its way through you because you are in your happy state. This is death, and it's in reverse. For some, you might be resisting it, but I'm getting from spirit, that's a shaking head no, that you've accepted it and that you're passing now through death. And it's like you're at the end of the transformation and you're about to get to the sunrise. Take a look at the original Rider-Waite Smith depiction of death. In the distance, in the background, there is a sunrise coming through. It's kind of to let you know that this, even though death is here, that's not the end of the story. There are more cards after the death card, and there's a story after something ends, right? So I see you as passing through the tunnel of death, Queen of Cups, Cancer signs, on your way to something that is, a new sunrise, a new dawn. Have some respect for this particular time period. Have some respect for what the universe is trying to get done through you and get done, through you. And if you ever feel like things are kind of rough and you're not sure why, this might be you're having to lay down these foundations. It might be a little bit of a struggle here with this fox, right? You're having to kind of adapt through your environment. There's a reason why this is going on, okay? So here's the Emperor. This is the Green Man. This is someone who lays down the regulations for how life works. So the Green Woman is chaos, the creative energy of chaos, kind of loosey-goosey, just kind of get stuff out there. The Emperor or the Green Man says, this kind of life will not work in these kinds of contexts, these kinds of rules. You're being set up into somebody who is the absolute master of your own universe. You create, you set definitions and rules and policies, if you will, for those creations because you are absolutely in charge. And again, this might be a result of what you went through last year. If you went through last year high vibing, doing the best you could by yourself, by your loved ones who you wanted to take out of the nasty situation, this is the continuation of that particular cycle. You're supposed to be in a place where you are in absolute rulership. And once you are this particular Green Man or the Emperor of your own life, there's no going back to different shores. So with this is the Six of Swords. So this is about transition, like we were saying right here. You just won't go back. You'll be a square peg fitting into a round hole. It just won't work. It won't feel good, and it won't even bother you that it doesn't fit anymore. Okay, Cancer, that's enough for you. I'm headed on to Pisces next. Y'all have a great month. Pisces, I hope that you're all having a good year so far. Let's take a look at your March and see what kind of forecast you have. What's your general theme? How can you handle it the best way you possibly can? That kind of thing. Pisces, you need to take a look and see if you have a Saturn return in Pisces this year. For some people, that is absolutely something that's going on. That popped into my head. This month in March, a Saturn return in Pisces begins, okay? Please be aware that this might be a trying time for some of you folks. Therapy is always great when used in conjunction with things like divination, Tarot, Lenormand, that kind of thing. Shuffle them back in. Around here we shuffle until Spirit tells me to stop. Hey, this is a place of healing. 7 of Stones, or 7 of Pentacles in this case. So that's about having to hang out with something and heal. I'm getting the phrase, if you feel it, you heal it. This might be recovery after last year. This might be after a really rough breakup, after a really rough divorce. You might be going through a divorce right now for some people. And healing and rejuvenating throughout the process is vital in order for you to get through it. This is the Ace of Cups. Very pretty image. This is a moon cup. So not like that moon cup, like a diva cup or anything like that. But this is the kind of thing where you're meant to reflect on how something is growing and waxing at the same time. It could be either, honestly. You could say that this is maybe energy that is waning, and old energy is fading into the past, and a new one is growing. But you can see how this is a place for you to rest and rejuvenate this particular month, Pisces. Okay, I know that you've had it rough, it looks like. Hey, that's the Star. So that's about, once again, very watery energy. This is a good place to be. If you look at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith definition, that's about kind of as above, so below, pouring stuff out from intuition onto how you actually practice here on Earth. So that's also about hopefulness, finding your guiding star, so to speak. This is a good time to tune into ancestors, guiding spirits, deities, the universe, whoever you work with, to kind of see how long you should stay in this healing state, because there's probably something that you need to move on into later on this year. Taking a break this particular month, emotionally speaking, intuitively speaking, getting away from people is going to be key to you being in a good place emotionally speaking. Okay, so let's shuffle. No reversals. Cancer already has reversals, so we'll use some of what Cancer has. I saw generally that for water signs, you guys were going to be resting, taking care of your creativity before you move on to something else. Really, really awesome energy. So Justice is at work here. Let me take out another. Yeah, okay, so wherever you left behind, they're having hell to pay, dude. You're being guided away from whatever situation you're healing from back here. Catastrophic, breakup, divorce, that kind of thing. If you go back to the situation, that's bad, dude, because they've got hell to pay right now. They're going through some real spiritual manure, deliberately, right? The universe, this is like old world karma. Like, regardless of what you believe, what religion you're from, what faith you're from, that kind of thing. Karma is something that seems to cut across pretty much all faiths. Like, in some form of fashion, there is some kind of belief that if you do something, there's a opposite reaction, right? To say, hey, that was good, that was awesome, thank you, or that was shit, here are your consequences, that kind of thing. Whoever you left behind in the past is don't go back to them, because they're getting fucked up spiritually right now. Possible spiritual prison, that kind of thing. Don't go back. That's the Knight of Pentacles. Growing something slowly. Even though there's quite a bit of energy in this, like horses, they're so powerful, but they've got so much energy. They're so much fun. They're so cool. I love horses. But I'm definitely seeing how you leaving the situation is going to allow you to be a free wild horse, right? Who doesn't love to see lovely wild horses that were formerly, domesticated? Who doesn't love to see wild horses, running across a plain or something like that? The last that are left. I'm definitely seeing that while you are be careful that you're not taking shortcuts. So this is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and that could mean that, well, for some of you might be taking too long with something. You might be taking too long to get away. There might be some assets that you're taking too long to get away, because I'm seeing like pentacles right here. Like you can't go back. But there are some things that you've left behind that maybe weren't great to leave behind. It's like you're going to have to work extra hard now because you left some things behind. And maybe you were supposed to, maybe you weren't. But either way, you're doing things the hard way. I can see that in the future. There's the risk that you're doing things the hard way in the future. It might be better to work with other people that maybe you're a little bit cautious of, but it could be that those people that you're a little bit cautious of, they're strangers right now, they could become really cool lifelong friends. Like you're rocking on the front porch, like 93 years old, talking about getting whippersnappers with these people, right? Like this might be a new era where you need to trust people that normally you wouldn't have trusted because you were in a particular situation where those people weren't like you and those people weren't like ready to mesh yet. Y'all's dispositions just weren't there yet. But now that you're out of this situation, you're going to be in a stage where you can warm up to them, and you should, because they're going to get some neat stuff together with you. They're going to be able to work with you on some neat stuff. But I'm feeling like, horses, they roam in groups. Don't do this alone. Like, don't do this project, whatever this new thing is, whenever you move on. Working on a new job, a new business, whatever have you, maybe a new social media outlet. Don't do this alone. Do this together with people that you maybe don't trust at first, but you gradually learn to trust eventually. Okay, this is about hitting your target. If you work together with people, you move in a herd, so to speak, there's the real possibility that you can start hitting your target and actually get the things that you want out of your healing process. So it's kind of like hanging out with people that you learned to mistrust back in the day. Learning to trust those people now is what's going to save your ass. I just heard save your balls. Do you have balls that you need to save? But something about those people are going to save your balls, as Spirit said. Spirit's fun sometimes. Oh my God, look at that. It's the Ace of Arrows in reverse underneath the Ace of Cups. So this is a great new adventure. You should be absolutely healing yourself. Your hope is here, but I'm feeling like you need to keep quiet about it. Shut up. Okay? Don't talk to people about this. When you hit your target, when you work with people, when you find your herd, don't talk to people about it. Keep this project under wraps to yourself. It's going to feel really, really good. It's going to feel tempting. You're going to want to spill and talk about the good things that are going on. Don't do it. Shut up, okay? Pisces, that might be a little bit difficult for you. I'm not throwing shade, but I've known some talky Pisces. This is a time for you to practice shutting up. And what did I say? You're going to be the hooded man. This is the Hermit. This is someone who's going to need to go through a lot of introspection and study to be the awesome, badass person that they are together with this project. So sit with this project. Hit your targets with people, with your herd. Hit your targets together, introspection. This doesn't mean that you're literally alone, but it does mean that you go through a time period where you're going through all kinds of studies, all kinds of research. These people that you're going to hang out with are going to teach you new things about yourself that you're going to be forced to integrate with who you are going to be in the future and who you are now. Pay attention to this because you're supposed to be here. This is how you get your hope, basically, is by introspection, study, and by being around people that you mistrusted once upon a time. You're going to need to be around them now because they've got some really awesome things to tell you today. Yeah, I've got some people in mind I'm thinking about in particular. This is how you heal from a time period where you were exploited. and it lands on the same card that indicates that this person has hell to pay, the person that you left behind. You are going to need to heal from however they exploited you, and it's going to feel good once you get into that groove. But introspection, study, being around people that you're not accustomed to, getting new perspectives is going to be how you heal yourself after a really, really shitty process. You will gain all the tools. You will gain the experience, the knowledge, just the creativity, the emotions that you need in order to move forward in your highest power. March is going to be about you coming around to this eventually. This is going to take a long time. This is an old man. This is a lifelong process. Of course, we can be the magician in a particular stage, but think about how, like, you might have been a magician, younger. You've leveled up since then. You're still the magician back then, just like you are today, but it's a different version. You get better over time, and I feel like that's what's going on here. Definitely stay quiet about being with these new people. Don't keep this new friend group separate from your old friend groups, if indeed you are in contact with your old friend groups, old family groups. Don't talk about these people. They might be an exclusively online group. If you keep them to yourself, there's the potential that they could help you more than you thought that they could. I'm just saying that, right? Keep them to yourself. Keep their cards, keep your cards too close to yourself. There's the risk that they could help you more because you're quiet about them than you thought that they could. Okay? Yeah, don't trumpet out their existence, definitely. Be as silent as the grave here. So these might be some really powerful, high-vibing people, earth angels even, who are getting you to an incredible place where you're going, so happy, so powerful. You are in such a contented, good place because those people kind of leveled you up. You're going to need to be silent as the grave. This is doubly silent. Work with them and don't say anything. Don't even say, "Oh, I'm working on a secret project. I can't talk." Don't even do that. Just go about your life as if nothing has changed. Literally. Okay, Pisces, have a great March. I want to take care of Scorpio last and absolutely never least. Scorpio. Let's take a look at your March forecast. One of my favorite people in the world right now this month is a Scorpio. So around here, if it doesn't, Spirit doesn't always want cards that come flying out to be part of your spread. Around here, we shuffle until Spirit tells me to stop. And I said that my favorite person in the world right now this minute is a Scorpio, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a positive forecast, okay? Just a heads up. Ooh, the World Tree, 10 of Stones. What the fuck is going on? I was told to get 4 out, but I'm stopping at 2 for just the minute. Transition into home, Scorpio. Transition into happily ever after. That's the 10 of Pentacles. That's the world. What the fuck? You've got some neat stuff this March. Ace of Bows. What the fuck, Scorpio? Okay, well, I take back what I said earlier. I said that, this might not mean that you have a good forecast, but what the fuck? I know, you don't have to read tarot to see that these are great cards, man. Transitioning into home, a new way of doing things. Super happily ever after, man. This was happily ever after right here. Here's super happily ever after. Look at how gorgeous that card is. I freaking love how pretty this card is. This is just, you don't know what to do with all the happiness, Scorpio. It's just flowing all over the place. Congrats. I don't know, like, are you getting married or something? Did you have a baby? Like, it's kind of badass, man. No more shuffling. Take stuff from the bottom. So, like, normally I would ask, like, how can we handle this month the best way that we possibly can? And I guess there's still tips and tricks for this month, but maybe you need to just be really satisfied and happy and celebratory with what you've got this month. Like, maybe that's your advice right there. Let's pull some cards from the bottom and let's see what you get. You've got the Queen of Arrows, or the Queen of Swords in this particular case. Definitely going to be filtering out some people from your happiness in order to preserve it, and welcoming in cool, badass people who are going to be part of your, what do you call a group of swans? Anyway, you're going to be welcoming in, some cool new swans into your group. Cool, badass swan, okay? Look at this. This is, I'd say, it's like, I don't know my, astrology to tarot equivalents yet, but I feel like this is such badass Scorpio energy right here. It's air on water energy. And I absolutely see how Scorpios are able to say, you're a fucking shitty person, get the fuck out of here. You're a cool badass person, you're badass, come in here, let's do warm fuzzies and cookies, right? I can absolutely see how you're in that energy in this particular point. Fucking A. I love this so far. This is the death card. This is the death card. You're on the other side, basically. You've accepted whatever happened in the past, and you're moving forward freely. You're able to fly up into the air if you want, or you can continue to swim around on the water. Whatever you please. You're not alone anymore. You don't feel like you're struggling anymore. You're not struggling to transition through this, and it might have been a struggle to transition through something, to get through on the other side of something. It's good stuff. Yeah, I feel like you're in a warm shelter. I had Five of Pentacles energy just a second ago, but this is the Eight of Swords in reverse. So that's about like walking blinded through a situation. But definitely here, yeah, I'd say like the blindfolds are off. You've walked through death and you're onto your sunrise. If you look at the original Rider-Waite-Smith version of the death card, there's a sunrise in the background, even though death is moving through a child, a young adult, and an older person, right? At least 3 people that I remember. There's a sunrise on the side of this, and I feel like you're there. This is someone struggling through the dark of night, if you will. You're done with that. You're to the sunrise, I feel like. Let me see if I'm wrong, okay? Nope, I'm not wrong. It's the Fool. It's the Stag. And they're saying, you're doing great. Karma smiles on the moves that Scorpio is making this particular month. Jesus, this is incredible. Let's do more. So be cautious when it comes to maybe rushing some stuff. This is slow energy right here. Even with this Ace of Bows, this is slow energy and this is slow energy. So it may be that you get kind of frustrated. Like Scorpio, I can see how quickly you move. Like when you think about how fast Scorpions move in the desert. And by the way, I still to this day don't understand why Scorpions are water signs. Why wouldn't they be fire signs? They live in the desert. They don't live in water. That's just me. Let me move on, okay? I feel like some things can't end fast enough for you, Scorpios, and that makes perfect sense. You're that airy kind of energy. You want stuff done yesterday, and I can see how you might be really frustrated. But this is where, again, I said earlier to like hang out in this energy of celebration, happiness, contentment, feeling like you don't have to go anywhere. You're so fucking happy with where you are right now. Maybe hang out there for a little bit before you like go swimming on to something else, okay? There's something to do with this devil. This is the devil in reverse. There's something you need to conquer when it comes to your permanent long-term happiness. Now, this is happily ever after. This is with family, establishing a home for people to come to. But this is about 10 of Cups in reverse. Something is delayed here because there's something past this particular ridge, past the particular celebratory cycle. There's something that you need to move into first. There's a devil. There might be some inner demons. That might be what this is indicating. There might be some inner demons that need to be defeated after you've defeated an old situation that you were supposed to get out of. You were supposed to get out of that old situation so that you could come over here and defeat demons so that you don't land into old situations like that one ever again. Okay, yep. Work on this. Therapy might be really, really good. If you're going to be handling inner demons, definitely tarot is not the only way to go. In fact, I don't recommend that. I never recommend that. I don't care who the tarot reader is. Tarot does not work well when it's just by itself. Works great in conjunction with therapy though. And I really encourage that for Scorpios this particular month. If you want to move through and hang out in satisfaction this month and get ready to handle these inner demons later on. Cool. I hope you guys have a great March. Take care of yourselves, okay?